Welcome back to the official podcast for Season 2 of the HBO documentary series 100 Foot Wave. I'm your host, Nicole McNamara. Episode 3 is out, and for me, this is when Season 2 really begins, because this is just full of excitement, and we get to change it up on this episode. Nazaré goes flat, and everyone heads to Jaws.
It's the wave that changed what was possible and what the human body can endure and even ride.
Jaws is in Maui. The Hawaiians call it piahi, and piahi means wave. Not the wave you ride, wave in to call or to beckon someone. And for anyone who has seen any footage of Jaws, for me, the last thing that wave is doing is beckoning me. It's absolutely terrifying. Jaws is the birthplace of giant wave surfing, and it's really where Garrett reinvented his career as a big wave surfer. If it weren't for Jaws, I don't know that he would have ended up in Nazaré.
Jaws is probably the most perfect big wave. It's very powerful when it first hits you and very violent. And it will take you for a long period of time underwater.
It's very different than Nazaré. Nazaré is equally terrifying, but you can safely watch Nazaré from the cliff there. Jaws, the cliff is very far, so yes, you can be on the cliff, but you can't feel the same power and energy from the cliff. But you can experience Jaws from the boat in the channel. You get a different type of experience there because you are so up close and personal. In this episode, we watch Justine Dupont get the wave of the day, and our boat was positioned right there, staring straight into her barrel. And it was just one of the most electrifying moments seeing her fly out of that wave. It was just a chicken skin moment.
That was Justine.
That was Justine.
Wow.
Show him how to do it.
Show him how to do it.
Show the man how to do it.
Yeah, she did. She just straight up showed us.
And Beryl got to experience Justine's wave also because Garrett and I had decided it was take your kid to work day. I thought it was important for Beryl to really have this experience because big wave surfing is overly glamorized sometimes, especially to young people. And I really wanted him to see what it's really like to be out there and to have a career as a big wave surfer. And every swell, Garrett studies the weather predictions, and he can pretty much time when he feels the biggest wave of the day is going to come through, and that's when he wants to be on the rope. We had made the plan that he was only going to surf during the peak of the swell, but he got talked into surfing outside of this peak window, and he got one wave, but then he goes again, and he ends up having a pretty good wipeout where he disappeared for a few minutes. We had no idea where he was. All the jet skis were looking for him. So Beryl really did get to see that it's not always fun and games.
What happened, Mom?
They gave away. Let's just know who's handing where to grab them.
Right there.
No, but what happened?
When Garrett went missing, I was looking for him, so Beryl kept asking, what's going on? What's going on? Where is Dad? Where's Dad? But he wasn't upset. He wasn't overly concerned. Beryl's my stoic child. He doesn't show very much emotion. He just wanted to know what was going on. Garrett was rattled in the sense that he was exhausted. It was physically taxing on him, that wipeout. It rattled him pretty good in that he knew he had to get in shape. So his new goal now is to be in the best shape of his life by 56.
The wanted about surfing is you need to really push yourself to perform. If you want to succeed, you need to really push harder. But sometimes it's a really fine line between pushing too much and get injured.
You know, in this sport that is predominantly men, yes, there are women for sure, but the real star is the big wave huntress, Justine Dupont. Justine has separated herself into a league of her own because there's a special energy about Justine that she's not there to win a record. She's surfing because she loves it. It comes across in this episode. She says, I'm only going to do it if I'm smiling, and that's the truth. She has this energy of not needing to prove anything. Also, I love Justine because her partner, Fred David, is not just her partner in life, he's also her partner in the big waves. So they're very similar to Garrett and I in the fact that they're not just life partners, they're also work partners and play partners. Fred's always out there in the big waves with Justine. So it was really great to get to sit down with the two of them and have a more deep conversation than we've ever had before and find out their love story. Also, who's usually right in the arguments. And it's a very interesting answer. So let's find out. Justine, Fred, I'm super excited to have you here today, all the way from Nazaré.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's a pleasure.
When did you start surfing?
I started at 11 years old in Lacanau, so southwest of France, with my family, with my dad and my brother.
Did your father and your brother encourage you, or did you have to like push them to say, no, I want to go too?
I had to push them because my brother started surfing with my dad. So at first I didn't really like surfing because my brother wasn't spending time with me anymore. So I had to come to him and to ask him the board and can I try? Me too, please.
I feel that's happening with Thea too, you know, because Garrett's always on like, come on, Beryl, like Nazaré, let's go surf. And even in Hawaii, he takes Beryl every day. And I'm like, hey.
She's alone.
Yeah. But she's more crazy than Beryl. Like, she's more like Garrett. And I'm like, you probably are putting your attention to the wrong kid. Like, Thea's the one who would go surfing with you every day. How about you, Fred?
I did not really start surfing young. I was swimming and body surfing, and I think I first surfed around 20, like on a surfboard.
Wow.
Like, but I prefer swimming and body surfing.
So then how did you two meet? I've never heard the romance story.
Yeah, we had an event in Paris.
You had an event in Paris?
Yeah, in Paris with a sponsor that I was with. And
She was representing one brand, I was representing another brand, and we were both invited to an event.
So it was funny to meet in Paris because in fact we
live in the same area in the southwest of France.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, yeah.
And you had never met each other before?
No.
No.
Not really.
So then, but who approached who?
Oh.
I think it was her, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
You,
More me.
more you? Yeah, you have to watch out for those big wave surfers. They're aggressive.
Yeah.
I wasn't really
No,
doing
you-
big wave surfing at that time.
I think you were invited because of the wave
because
you got in Ireland at this time.
Yeah, sure. I was invited because I done my first big wave trip in Ireland like 1 month before or something like that. And
I remember because she was signing posters of her in the big barrel.
yeah.
Did you like that? Were you like, oh, that's cool?
Yeah, I was signing little body surfing pictures.
And me, I was a fan because he was like world champ that year, body surfing. So I was like,
So you were a professional athlete. You're underselling yourself, Fred.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say professional body surfer, but
Well, if
I
you're
was,
signing posters at an event,
I mean,
we'll go with professional.
I managed to get paid to do body surfing.
Well, there
so
you
I was stuck. But
And then, was it just love at first sight, or what happened?
yeah,
no. Not really.
not really, yeah, because he was with one girl, and then so he took us like 1 year to really meet properly back in southwest France on the beach, and then we stayed together. But at that time, I was competing, so I was going for surfing contests, and I was out for like 3 months during winter time in Australia.
She was going in Australia and I was going to Hawaii, and then not spending a lot of time together.
And then we realized we liked each other.
And how did that work with the big waves? So when did you end up with Nazaré? Because the first time you came to Nazaré, you guys came together, correct?
No, she came first.
Yeah, a few years before, but it was just a short trip. We were going.
I think I remember.
Yeah.
They were all saying, "Oh, there's a girl here from France." I remember that.
Yeah,
trip.
but I didn't even surf at that time. I just surfed a little bit towing, but not enough. And
Then I came with a friend to body surf.
Without Justine.
without
Yeah.
Justine. And we came for one swell, it was really fun. And then there were a huge swell. So I stayed on the beach for the huge swell and I watched the action and was like, it looks super good. Like to come here with Justine would be like amazing because we are already towing together in France a little bit. But I was more doing it with my friends and she wanted to come with us all the time and we didn't want her to come with us. But then we came back.
Yeah, because he had to come back because we had a Bellara in France. It's a big wave.
So I came back, we went to Bellara and then we went straight to Nazaré.
We just take the car, drive 9 hours south, go to Portugal, to
We were
Nazaré.
supposed to stay 2 weeks. I think we stayed 3 months. And then we decided
Every winter we come
at the
back.
end, I think at the end we decided we're gonna find an apartment. And before the winter, we were living in Nazaré.
And I was still doing shortboarding contests. And then little by little, we went into big wave and I kind of quit like a shortboarding contest.
So did you start driving her before you started your romance? Or was it romance then, will you drive me?
No, we were
It was a romance first.
together, and she was competing.
So you were really tow surfing, you were more just paddling.
Yeah, I was, for sure, I was a surfer doing paddling all the time. And
So you really had to beg Fred to drive you.
yeah.
It's funny because we were going almost every day in Osogor with my friend during the winter time. And one day, Justine was always asking when she was home, she was like, can I come with you guys? And we're like, no. And one day we're like, okay, today it's big, it's shit, it's windy. Let's bring her. So she stayed 2 minutes and then she's over it and then we go again. And she stayed like the whole afternoon on the rope. Like she never quit and she surfed better than all my friends, everybody. And we're like, fuck. Maybe she's not so annoying in the water and maybe it's okay. Like that's when it really started, like, okay, no, she can handle it. Like she was staying and we were driving fast and trying to be like rude, like so she could quit. And she never really quit. She was like really into it and that was fun.
I remember the first time Garrett told me it was the best feeling ever. I just like screamed, I'm never paddling ever again. It's just so fun and
It's a new
free.
discipline.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. So in episode 3, it starts out with your jaws wipeout. I actually started crying when I first watched it. Especially having, Garrett with his wipeout at Mavericks. It was kind of almost a PTSD situation.
When you get injured, she was like the best she had ever been. Like she was like
Top of the game.
top of the game. Like she rode that wave before. In the first heat was the biggest wave ever saw by a woman. Like the guys were scared to paddle. And she got that wave and she was like unbeatable. And she got that wave and I told her, okay, stop, sit with me. Like you're done. You're in the final, like stop. And she didn't. She told me like, shut up. I want to surf.
Yeah,
and she never speak like this to me.
I was even rude, kind of.
She was
like,
super rude.
Yeah. To him.
And I was sitting in the channel, like waiting for her, and she already broke one board, got a wipeout that most of the people would have stopped.
Yeah, because he was focused on the contest, and me, I was just focused.
No, I was focused on yourself doing good, like your body being safe, like being like winning the contest and being safe and like being smart.
Being
and you
safe, really.
Yeah, and she was just like, I don't know.
No, I was seeing that as an opportunity, an amazing opportunity. I still had 20 minutes, like all the water safety were there. The spot was just for us, like 6 women in the water. Amazing opportunity for me as a surfer. I was like, wow, it's my time to get the best wave of my life. So I was like really in the mission. And
Do you wish you listened to Fred?
Yeah. Since then,
if she had listened, she would have won the contest. After that, no more world championship. So she never won a world championship in a big wave, like a real one. And I think she deserves to have those ones. Like she has the level and the skill and then she spent 6 months in the rehab.
Yeah.
She lost a shoulder and a knee.
Yeah, but I still don't regret. It's kind of weird, but maybe because I have a huge ego. Maybe it's one reason. But no, I was still then. It wasn't the best move for my career, in fact, to really go in the
Look at
water.
where you are now.
Yeah, but I learned so much from that.
So how long after your accident until you guys talked about the fact that you didn't listen to Fred? Was it a couple days, a week, months?
A couple of days.
No,
Not even
no.
the same day you told me. So same day you told me, you could at the hospital, I think. Yeah, when I was at the hospital. But it was too late then.
So at the hospital.
Yeah.
No, but then we had to talk, like I had to help her, like she couldn't work, she couldn't do nothing, we had to...
Yeah, but we argue even in the plane.
Yeah,
in the plane. Sure. I went in Paris, I was with a wheelchair and I was crying and we were arguing because we were still not agree about that. I was like keeping my position. I made the right choice. I am on the wheelchair. I am destroyed. I made the right choice.
Smart.
Yes.
Smart.
Yeah.
So out of the two of you, who ends up apologizing first in arguments? So neither of you, they just...
But I would say 99% it's me who apologize first.
Yeah, but 99% it's her that is wrong.
And even when it's most of the time for sure. Sometimes I'm wrong.
Most
of the time. Yeah. But when you are wrong, you don't say sorry. So I'm like this. Okay, come on, Fred, you have something to say to me. I think. Fred, no, you didn't say. I couldn't hear. Please say it louder.
If she really asks, I say.
Yeah. Big wave surfing athletes. For sure, we have ego.
Big egos.
Yeah, and it's hard to deal with that. At the beginning, the worst at the beginning, I thought I had no ego. I was like, come on, I have no ego, Fred, with his big ego. Oh, come on, he's not nice with that. And then I was like, how can I say I have no ego? How can I think even about that? So it means that I have even a bigger ego than Fred. But yeah.
But at the end of this episode, we see you catch the best wave of the day, not just for a girl, but for anyone. I've never been so excited to watch somebody get that barrel than when I watched you do it. I was just like, I had the best view of it from the boat. It was just insane. So how did it feel watching yourself come full circle?
Yeah, it felt good to really realize that I was able to go back there and to really to overcome my fear. So I was super stoked and proud about that because we were in Mavericks and we had already 10 days in a row of surfing. We even went to Todos Santos, to Mexico, went back to Mavericks. We surfed a lot and we were kind of tired, so much because too much surf almost. And when we saw the swell, we were like, oh, maybe it's too much. And I was scared about, because I was already injured at Jaws. So I was like, if I am too tired and if I do a mistake, I know what can happen.
I was really if you're ready to get the biggest wave and the barrel, we go. If you don't know, or we don't go.
That's what I always tell Garrett too. It's you're either going to go and get the best wave or we're not going.
Yeah. It was for sure.
As soon as we land in Hawaii, everybody was like, Justine, you're going to get a barrel. Jaws, it's a barrel. And we were not speaking about anything else. Jaws, it's
crazy.
A barrel. Justine, it's a barrel. If you surf, it's a barrel. And then it happened. It's oh.
It was crazy. And even in the water with Michel, I got the luck to watch Tyler, his son, because Michel taught his son first. And Tyler was ripping, so I was really not talking, just taking notes, how he serves this wave, okay. And then when I went in the water with Michel, he just told me on a small one. And then we wait for a really good one. And we wait a long time. But I don't know, I was super confident with Michel because he's got so much experience there. So I was, okay, he knows the place. I just need to focus on my surfing. And so he shows the wave, he put me in the right spot, then it's my time to surf. And when he starts the ski, we were so deep. And it's the first wave of the set, so I kept telling myself the first one is never the good one. Or when I let go the rope, I saw the first wave breaking in front of me, and I was like, wow, in fact, I am on the second wave, and I'm super deep. Wow, that's the one. But I had one little moment where I thought okay, I'm too deep, and I will get destroyed again at Jaws. It will happen again, and it's even bigger than when I surfed and when I got injured, so the wave gonna just hit me, But then I had this little message of Tyler Laron, who said, when you think you are in a bad place, that means it's perfect. That means that's the one. So I was, okay. So trust yourself. And then when I was in the barrel, I can't even see the end of the barrel. It's like all black. And I almost wanted to jump from the board because I was like, it's done. And I thought about Fred in Nazaré. He got a wave like the first winter we went to Nazaré. He got a huge barrel and he jumped from the board.
I did that one time. Right into the lip. I'm like, oh,
yeah, but
this is too perfect. I'm just going to jump off.
And it's way worse, in fact.
Yeah, it's way worse.
It's way worse. And so I remember that on the wave and I was like, no, don't do like Fred. Please keep on your board.
I'm glad you didn't jump.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where were you when she got the barrel? Were you in the channel?
Yeah, I was with Tyler on a jet ski. And I remember we were sitting on the jet ski, we were speaking, and then we saw Michelle starting the ski. And we stopped speaking, and both of us were like, oh, fuck. What is he doing? And then when he put her, we just saw her disappear in the barrel, and we were a little bit higher on the lineup, and we were both like, fuck, he just killed her. like she's way too deep, and we didn't see. And then we didn't see her come out, but we hear the channel screaming. And so we were like, okay, she's in the barrel, but we thought they were screaming because she got like destroyed. And then we saw her popped out and we were both like, no way. No way. No, that was crazy.
Definitely, for me, it was an amazing wave. For sure, the best wave of my life.
It's funny because after that wave, I don't know who that was, but they were like, okay, you want to catch one more? And she said, yeah, I want a big one now. I was like, okay, that one was already big. And I had to tell her, no, like, done.
You're done.
You're done. Like, stop. Like, done.
Go to the harbor.
Yeah, it was
she's
so
like,
hard.
but I want a big one.
It was so hard. We flew there. And I just caught 2 waves in Jaws. That's it.
But the best wave.
Yeah, but I wanted more, I was like, we are there to surf. Like,
And it did get a lot bigger in the afternoon.
Yeah. And it was
more
like
windy.
And it was
so windy.
Water world, like
it was
crazy. Like the
like
guys,
kite surfing, windsurfing.
It was amazing.
And the wind was really put an extra like chaotic.
Yeah, chaotic was a
crazy.
word for sure. Crazy day.
But a beautiful day.
Amazing.
Beautiful moment.
Yeah, beautiful moment. It was the best wave of my life, that barrel at Jaws, but will not taste the same.
It would not. Yeah,
so
finding the beauty and the beauty way, finding the beauty and
because it was
the
crazy.
discomfort.
The year after the injury, I didn't even catch one wave at Jaws. I was still scared. Because you don't realize, but when you get an injury, you've got the time for the physical part, and the mental part, it's way longer, in fact. You feel like, okay, I'm 100%, I recovered, it's fine. No, it's not fine. The body is fine, okay, but the mind is still not fine.
It's so
crazy.
hard to deal with because you look at her and she surfs so good, and it's like, okay, you're ready, and you're stronger, you have more muscles, but then in the head you see like it's different and it's way longer.
Yeah, but at least I felt that wave at Jaws. I kind of deserve it a bit because the journey was
You earned
long.
it.
Yeah.
How did you overcome the fear?
Just keeping going there, putting in some situation that you feel the fear, you are facing the fear kind of, and learning about that, and then figuring that it's just not about the fear, the emotion, it's just about being in the present and being right there. And when you are in the present, there is no more emotion, there's no more fear, because fear is, today I'm scared to injure myself at Jaws because I already injured myself at Jaws and I know the pain, I know the feeling. I'm scared, but I'm scared of injuring in the future. So in fact, the future, the past don't exist anymore and we are just there. So I just understood that and I took it into practice,
Be here now.
Yeah,
in the present moment. Nothing exists except this.
You were wearing
that
shirt. So, it's amazing.
At Jaws, I was
Jaws,
wearing
the green one, and even green because green is a color of up. So I loved it.
For you, Fred, having her injured, And, you know, yeah, there's all these things they can do physically as athletes to get back. But how do you help her handle the mental parts? Well, I know it's a key, you know, in these partnerships, you know, it's like as a partner who's been in that situation, sometimes it's like, I just want to leave them there to die. No, I don't know. But
it was kind of tricky because she got injured and we just moved to Portugal. We had plenty of things to do and she was not the funniest person ever at this time. And she had nothing to do. Like, she had to enter the center in France where she had to stay like the whole week. She couldn't get out of the place. I couldn't get in the place. And I wanted to be in Portugal at home. At the same time, I had to do plenty of things and I wanted to be with her, but she was like doing her thing. And
so leave me.
So she stayed with my mother. She stayed with my mother for 1 month, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
So I was in Nazaré and she was in France. And well, I think it was better like this. Like, we would have killed each other if I stayed in France.
No, and then I had a person, Isabelle, mental trainer.
Yeah, mental coach.
Yeah, mental coach.
You had a mental coach.
Yeah, so most of the time when it's not good.
So it wasn't all on Fred. You had the mental coach.
And he said to me, okay, Justine, now you need to call Isabelle.
Maybe I need her phone number.
Sometimes it's too much for me. Like, you cannot be the boyfriend, the friend, and the coach, or not the coach, but the psychologue and
the safety driver.
If you're everything, at the end, you kind of lost. She was in good hands. There's not too much thing I could do. But speaking about her accidents, it's more scary now than it was before.
So to relive it for you is harder every time.
It's weird.
Do you ever talk to the mental coach?
No.
You talk a bit, but not
a little bit.
Yeah, she know.
Well, PTSD is a real thing, and I think it's
PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, post-traumatic.
I've done that.
I know I have PTSD. Like, anytime Garrett gets injured, I'm fine with him being injured. But if I hear the word surgery, like if a doctor says when he broke his foot after not listening twice, and then they're like, oh, you need surgery. And it's just like my whole body's just like, I can't do it again. And it's not even me having to go through the pain, but I'm having to go through dealing with it.
It's crazy. Like, when she qualified for the CT the day before the first CT event, she broke her, or 1 week, she broke her elbow training. And then she carried the injury the whole CT. She did not requalify, blah, blah, blah. But the worst was the pain. You still have pain from this.
Yeah.
But she was invited to a ceremony, something, and she spoke with one girl. And that girl was like, oh, I broke my elbow. And then I look at Justine, and she became white and she fell unconscious.
Yeah. Never felt unconscious in my life. And
in the middle of the ceremony, I saw her and I grabbed her and she fell. Like, I was like, wow.
So this is important.
PTSD. Yeah. And for you, like, you have your injuries and you have the injuries of your friends or the people you like, or even the people you don't like, but you see them, or even what's happened. Like, it's happening every swell. And it keeps happening, and for sure it will happen more and more because there's more people and less skills. Like,
it's a new Nazaré, new life.
We just have to make the right choices.
Yeah.
And like you said, know that we're doing our best.
Yeah.
You know.
No, for sure.
What's it like having responsibility for each other in the water, especially for you, Fred? Like, your responsibility is to pick her up and keep her alive.
But the thing is, we live together. And we used to train together. I don't train anymore too much, but before we were training together, doing everything together. So I know how strong she was and how ready she was. I think it was okay until at one point when a few years ago, she was like, she wanted way more. And I was like, oh, if you want more, maybe I'm not the good person anymore to do more. Like, I want to focus on your safety and I don't want to be the one that is gonna push you. Like, when I think of her, I only think her being safe. Like, I want her to succeed the best she can, but more than that, I want her to be safe. So I will push her to do things crazy because most of the time I think she
can handle it.
She can handle it.
Yeah.
But I will never, like, maybe I'm wrong, but I won't push her to do something I think there is a slight chance to do something bad. Like.
Yeah, we went until a point that it was kind of tricky situation, like during huge days.
It was not fun
So-
anymore. Like
Yeah.
neither for her or for me, it was not fun anymore. Like,
Because we definitely knew the risks.
and also, like we said, like being in a couple, like you speak about your fears, you speak things to your boyfriend that you maybe would speak with your partner.
For sure.
Yeah.
And so I know her fears. I think was for me was too much. Like
Yeah, it was definitely
And,
too much for us.
It's fun until it's not.
yeah.
It
That-
is.
What kind of sacrifices have both of you had to make so that you can?
Zero. We made zero sacrifice because it's not sacrifice, it's choice.
Choice. I
And
like
it's
that.
different. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, my mom said that one day to me. No, it's not sacrifice, it's choice, but for sure, because we dedicate our life to big waves. So if there is something that will make you going out of your mission, we can't go to the wedding, we can't go to the Christmas,
we
to
lost,
meetings.
We lost contact with the family, with the friend, with everybody at home. For me, my best friend, they understood, but some of the family members, they don't understand. Like, it's crazy because for her safety, like, she can't travel to that place to enjoy the holidays with the family and be ready the next day to surf giant wave in Nazaré, you know? Like, sometimes they make her feel like bad because she didn't go to that event, or still to this day. So this is kind of hard to deal with, and I think this is a sacrifice, but still a choice.
It's not sacrifice. It's just like it's hard for other people to understand what we are living, what we
Yeah.
are doing. And because we just look at the picture of one surfer on the wave, but there is so much beyond that. And there is even like moments that you need to do almost nothing. You need to do just stretching. And this moment is really important. Even if it looks like it's nothing and you could took this day to go to see your family. No, but it's important to have one day with like almost silence, to be ready to go the next day with like so much noise to balance everything.
And same thing, Christmas, you know, like for the rest of your life, you know, Christmas will be like December 25, but then you don't know when is the next swell. So you can't really tell or know or plan or do anything. Like, you're just like, okay, I'm ready and I know what I want. Anything else has no importance.
But we do love our family and friends. It's like, it's crazy because as soon as I have like, okay, we will do this wedding or this meeting or Christmas is happening. Even like Christmas, because you know it's gonna happen. So first I'm like, I love it because it's family, it's good vibes, it's like a friend and love. And then it's like, okay, then I have a little thing in my stomach that's gonna be with me until Christmas because I don't know if I will be there. And if I will not be there, it's not gonna be nice for my family, but I want to be there. But maybe it's not good for my safety to go there if there is a swell. And so, yeah.
For her, she's like hypersensitive also. So, and super close to her family. So it's really hard. And sometimes I think it's like they don't deal it really well. They don't understand how impactful it can be when they say something, Justine, you're still not going to Christmas, you prefer your wave than or whatever. They don't understand how bad it is for her and how hard it is for her to make this choice. Me, I don't care. So I don't go and I don't care. But her, I see it's every single time. It's the same question, like Christmas is coming and it's like...
The worst was this year. I bought my tickets for going to France 24, and last minute I bought the ticket. I said to my family, we were
6 p.m.
we
she
were
bought the
23.
ticket.
Yeah, we are
On the 23rd, 6 p.m. she bought the ticket.
and in fact,
I
2
think
hours
2 hours
after,
later she bought a ticket for going to
Jaws.
Jaws.
So- But it's part of our life.
Even choice, like the money, like we invest all our money for
Yeah.
5 years. We were like every single money we had, we were putting it into surfing, into everything. Like we were making the choice to lose everything or have a chance to maybe create something, you know?
We were 100% committed and at least no regrets. You just try your best to achieve something. If not, at least we tried. We tried the hardest that we could. And at the end of the day, we
We
made
are happy with
yeah,
the choice, and
for sure.
it was totally worth it.
I still don't know if I'm gonna go for Christmas, but
In our family, we like to say that every single second is a choice. The choice is black or white. It's either getting you closer to your goal or farther away.
Yeah.
And there's no in between. It's either towards your goal or away from your goal.
Yeah. And I have super hard time to make choice, but at the end, all the time I think about that, I'm like, if I have multiple choice, that means that I've got even more freedom. And this is the crazy thing in life, to be free. So if you have choice, that means you are free to choose.
What is your goal right now?
To stay on the same rhythm, like enjoying what we're doing, being respectful with the others, and just being true to ourselves. Don't change, like don't chase something that is not real, and don't chase ego trip, but chase like dreams, like real dreams, and like. And
the discover more wave, going to crazy
to different place and
going out of Nazaré to crazy place. Like we have our base in Nazaré, we keep training there, but just going to other places, discover the
and
culture.
Don't stay close to only big waves. Also, like she's a surfer, and we like to be in the ocean, and there's so much things like rather than just like Nazaré towing and giant swell. And Nazaré is becoming so crazy, so crowded, so dangerous, so out of control that it's good to get away of it sometimes. Like
we were like just so focused like 6 years in a row, like Nazaré, big wave, big wave. Now we want to just open our mind and be like, okay, there's
a whole world out there.
Yeah. And
Nazaré can open like the time we spend in Nazaré and the thing we learn in Nazaré allow us to do plenty things. The skills she learned towing in Nazaré, now she can barely tow everywhere in the world with whoever wants to tow with her. It's amazing. Like she can go anywhere and join a team.
I felt like we want freedom, and I want freedom. Like now I can be an asset and not just being the surfer that need something.
Right.
Also,
so it's amazing.
She has that credibility now, thanks to the performance, and it's not only talking or social media, like with social media, and some people they can talk and sometimes catch one wave, but like she can do whatever she wants because the performance she's done it, and she will probably keep doing it, but not looking to do better and better every time. It's also like relaxing and something that we enjoy.
And maybe one day creating a little family like you.
I'm waiting because I'm definitely not going to have any more. So it'd be nice to have another little baby in Nazaré. That isn't mine.
Yeah. And you passed away, so now I know how to do.
So do you think that's going to be soon?
Yeah, we want, definitely.
Same thing as the forecast. It's hard to
predict.
Hard to predict the plan.
Yeah, but we definitely.
But you can practice.
Yeah. No, we want in the
one
future.
thing is sure is, for example, like before this winter, she was like, I want to catch a big wave in Nazaré and I want to win the contest at Jaws. At the end, like no contest in Nazaré, no contest in Jaws, no big wave in... And that was her planning, her things, and she was so into it, and she was almost not open to anything else. So with the baby, it's the same thing. Like if we're like, oh, we want a baby, no, we don't. Like we know we want, and
it's all about setting your attention and then letting it go.
It will happen.
For sure.
And it's great. Like we want to, and we'll see.
Yeah, and being in this world with you, with Lucas, getting babies, with Kai, I feel like it's different because
it's harder because that's her that is surfing and
But
I can surf on
doable.
On a longboard, on the stand-up for a little bit.
You can still tow for a while.
Yeah.
It's only a small period of time. If you time it right, with all of our babies, well, not all, because some of them weren't planned, but with Beryl for sure, I had planned it so that it was during the summer.
Yeah.
So, and then I just manifested the entire summer that Tahiti would be flat the whole summer so that there would just be no waves the last 2 months of my pregnancy.
Yeah. The issue now is that I think maybe El Nino is coming. So let's see. I don't know. And you don't never know with these things. El Nino.
What we learn is when you want something or when you think it's time, it's when you
push too hard, it never happens. It's
and when you let go,
it,
you're open to it, and that's when things happen. So
that's the beauty of life.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so much inspiring to learn all of this life and to being able to share it to some little baby soon. Let's see.
Thank you for talking with me, and I hope next time we talk, it'll be with a little baby.
Let's see. Let's trust in life, and
Thanks,
let's see.
for having
Thanks a
us.
lot. Thanks so much.
And
you.
thanks for everything you did in Nazaré
Yeah.
with Garrett. And
Oh yeah.
it's amazing.
I'm glad to have people like you there.
I already told you, but for me it's a big plus all the time that you're there because there is not that much woman and you feel it. There is a mellow, I don't know, atmosphere, and you are carrying this atmosphere of like really like presence, being there.
That day
Good,
she
pure,
surfed with
you know?
Garrett. She was like, I'm with Garrett, but I know Nicole is on the radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like the little angel. She's there. And it's a woman, so she understands deeply what I live and what. So it's good. It's amazing for me. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. As always, before we go, here's another bonus clip from the HBO series. It opens with a scene of Garrett, the kids, and I in our kitchen.
Dad, can we try?
Whoa. Thank you.
Garrett, she's always here like at the beginning of the season, so it's like it's a good time of year, you know. Like for Garrett and Nicole, it's like their favourite months in Nazaré are like October, November.
Seen your show, really nice.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck on this season.
We're planning on being here till about March. Garrett's thing is, if he's training to ride the biggest wave, then he's prepared to, his body's in perfect shape to like play with the kids and not be injured. And so he was going out a lot.
I really like my program here. I wake up at 5, I work out. Just getting my body stronger, more fit, and getting a few waves here and there. Feel really good. The best I've felt in years. What's up, Joao?
He was going ballistic, like surfing really well, ripping,
He was doing great, and then he tweaked his back, and that was... But we have a great acupuncturist right in Nazaré.
He massively overdid it last week. I wouldn't get off the rope. It's quite taxing on the body, especially if you haven't done it loads in the last few years. I think it took its toll.
So the one thing you can't tell from just listening to this clip is that I'm pregnant, which is a whole other story. One that you'll get after watching next week's episode of 100 Foot Wave on HBO. This has been the official podcast for HBO's 100 Foot Wave. I'm your host, Nicole McNamara. Episodes air every Sunday at 8 p.m. Then join me right after for this podcast. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to chatting next week.